Good day everybody. I think we've got it all right today. How's everybody doing? Think you're going to hear me? If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Yes, we're in this format at the moment. Louise, say hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Let me know if you can hear us both. That would be cool if you can. Oh dear, it says our current stream bitrate is low, so I hope everyone is not going to get any buffering. Both loud and clear. Good. Excellent. Yes, excuse the format again. I'm not behind my bench because obviously, as you most probably know, we're still interviewing. Although they want to have a look at your hair, Louise.
Oh, thank you guys. Yes. It all went on Saturday.
Look, all gone. Looking good.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good hair.
For a bit of a change.
It's a good haircut.
Thank you guys.
So about the Louise show today. Let's carry on then, Louise.
No, I don't want to make it all about myself. You know, I hate that. Oh, thank you, everyone.
Good, yes.
You can just have a Q&A on my new haircut if you like. I think that would be entirely appropriate.
Yes, it is a nice haircut, isn't it? That's it. Okay, and back to we. No, I'm joking. So how is everybody doing today? Yes, we're still interviewing the contestants for All That Glitters. Did you catch the interview that we put out on Saturday? It was quite a last minute thing. I think we gave people like 4 hours for the premiere. Still playing around with that. You got some static, have you? I seem to be okay. Static. Oh, do we have static then?
Is it me?
Is it you?
I don't think so.
Is it static coming from me or is it static coming from Louise? Let me know. Romy said static.
Anybody else having a problem with static? Oh, thank you, Shirley. Oh, thank you.
It's gone.
Let's go on. Okay.
Good. Okay.
Fab. Good.
Great interview. It was a good interview. We loved it, didn't we?
Yeah.
We loved it. Naomi came across with such life, such enthusiasm. Wisdom, absolutely, for such a young person. Absolutely awesome, wasn't it? We loved it. It was so inspirational, and so you nearly had a tear in your eye. When
I did have a lump in my throat, yeah, because her approach and her attitude to learning and development and just life in general, I thought was amazing.
Absolutely, and she's not resigned to the fact, but she understands she has to sit down and learn.
And she said that's the life of a jeweller, but I just think that's the life of anybody who wants to progress, isn't it, really? Because you can apply it to anything, you really can. I just think it was really inspirational.
Absolutely. So we loved that. We thought that was really, really good. Let's put this camera around a bit nearer so we can have a bit more of Louise.
The new hair.
Should we? There we go. And just go a little bit like that. There we go. That's a better picture. There we go.
Oh, no, you've just got the phone now. Oh, no, okay. Okay.
Ah, lovely. Yeah, so that was the interview. We're going to be putting one up on Wednesday of this week, I think. And then we're going to be putting another one up on perhaps Friday again, aren't we?
Yes.
Just so we can try and catch up.
Lifelong learning, yeah, absolutely.
Is.
That's what it's all about, I think, isn't it? And that's really why we're all here.
Yes.
So she really, for me, I think the reason I got a little bit emotional was because what she said just encompassed everything that we try and do.
Yeah, what we do here with the Q&As, what we do at the bench and everything else that we do. It's
and in our own lives as well. It's just really resonated so loudly with me.
Absolutely. And there are people out there who don't want to learn, who just learn one or two techniques and that's it, and they just get on with it. And whilst that's fine for them, but there's others who we really want to progress and want to learn and want to develop and want to be the best in the game. And I think it's not a chore. It's not anything like that. It's excitement. Learning something new all the time.
And it's a fact of life, isn't it? If you want it to be. If you don't want it to be, that's fine. We're not judging anybody who doesn't want, if you're happy, that's great. But if you, I don't know, if you have got that inside you, then...
Brilliant. Absolutely, So she has a lot going for her. Absolutely a lot going for her. And so I think we're going to be putting, who's going to come next? Kim. I think Kim is going to be going live on Wednesday. Again, we're going to publish it. We're going to have the premiere, the intro, the trailer, and the premiere, so we can all chat about it. We could chat about it about 5 minutes after it finished, which was a shame it didn't go any more than that, but that was good. And then we're going to put Nicola then towards the end of the week. So keep an eye out on YouTube for all that.
Yes, on the way. Exciting.
Yes, absolutely. So anything else we got to say before we start?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I love how she secured her position by hand, making all the findings, setting her apart. Yeah, we're going to start at the bottom. She was, yeah. And people soon progress. You start at the bottom, and if you're willing to learn and willing to do all these types of jobs, you will progress, absolutely.
Yeah.
What else is next? We have some results on the topaz.
Oh, is Penny on?
Are you on, Penny?
I don't think she is, because I can't. Sometimes she's on as Penny and sometimes she's on as
India and
Albert. Are you here, Penny? No. Should we hang on? Because Penny might come on, and if she does, then we'll. But if not, then we'll. Yeah.
All right. There's that.
Let's put it on the forum.
We sorted out the adverts on the All That Glitters day after party, so we sorted that out. There was like 15 adverts in like 45 minutes, which is ridiculous. So we've cut down all the adverts on that. I will be looking at them as time goes on. Anything else we can't think of? No. So, Louise, shall we start?
Yes, okay.
Okay, Louise, it is the 10th of May, time for the question and answer in a nice, relaxed, calming, non-Julified atmosphere, environment. I don't know where I'm going with this. Maybe have our first question, please.
Of course. Susan is asking, liver of sulphur, tellurium, platinum black, which lasts longer or gives problems?
I don't know what that tellurium black is.
Heard of tellurium.
I've had liver of sulphur, and I've also tried platinol. I prefer platinol.
Tellurium is a chemical element with the symbol Te and the atomic number 52. It's a brittle, mildly toxic, rare silver white metalloid. Tellurium is chemically related to selenium and sulphur, all of three of which are chalcogens.
Okay.
Chalcogens. It is occasionally found in native form as elemental crystals.
So obviously, if it is chemically related to sulphur, that is why then it will affect silver. I don't know the answer to this one, but I have tried liver of sulphur. I've tried liver of sulphur little chunks, and you dilute them in water, and I've also tried platinol. I do prefer platinol because I find it is a consistent liquid, whereas you have to dissolve the liver of sulphur, little smashed up cubes in water, and I think you could get various dilutions of that as you go through, doing your different pieces, different times and so forth. But the platinol is the one concentrator. I've also got some small little platinol. I think it's platinol, or is it neat liver of sulphur? I think I've got some neat liver of sulphur solution already made up, and I bought that off eBay. And the thing I like about that is it is a solution. The concentrate, the percentage is exactly the same every single time, so you'll get really guaranteed results every single time. But I can't help you with that tellurium.
Is it worth saying? I don't know. We don't know whether it's particularly good for you. Kate might be able to help with that question actually, with her knowledge. But it says here, can cause headache, fatigue, drowsiness, dizziness, weakness. Repeated exposure can cause garlic breath. So be careful with that. So yeah, maybe
nausea,
do a bit more
vomiting,
research.
Loss of upset stomach,
irritability. You've been using the old tellurium, Andrew. Tellurium.
So I think tellurium is a bit like, no, I don't think that would be wise to use. But I'm sure Kate could let us know on that.
Yeah, Kate,
some group of oxygen.
If you've got any info about the safety of it, can you pop it in the chat if you do, please?
Yes.
We'd be really grateful.
Have I ever used black rhodium? I have, only on a pen plater, not as a whole dip, so to speak, but only on a pen plater, and it works quite well on a pen plater. Okay then, Louise, may we have a next question, please?
Of course.
As I couldn't answer that one properly.
Okay. Okay. This is Marcia. How do you measure ring stock for ring size for interlocking rings, aka Russian wedding ring?
It depends on the thickness of the other rings. I usually make it 3 sizes bigger than what it needs to be. We use sort of 2mm width D-section, perhaps 1.5mm thick D-section, so 2 by 1.5. And I find that 3 sizes is roughly around about the right size to make the rings bigger. Oh, oh. Oh,
it's flashing on its own, look.
Oh, yes, it is down there. Thank you, Martin. Appreciated.
That's very kind.
Thank you so much indeed, Martin. Do appreciate that. It's very kind. So for us, it's 3 sizes in the UK. If you're in the US, what's that going to be? Size and a half bigger than you guys, and that works about right. But the best thing about a Russian wedding band is that when you push it onto your finger, as the rings are all interlocking, they roll over each other, so you can sort of have a slightly tighter ring on and it'll just roll over, and they're great for getting over slightly arthritic knuckles as well, because with a fixed ring it is a fixed size and it's a fixed size to go over, whereas with the Russian, because they're all interlocking, there's no fixed size. They're all slightly rolling over, so you can push it over an arthritic knuckle better than what you can do with a solid ring. So about 3 sizes bigger is the answer, absolutely. Penny, we've got some information for you.
Penny.
So Penny, we have been playing around with some stones today. We made sure that we got it done. So we went through a drawer of all different types of stones. Louise was in her element. Andrew, this isn't a topaz. Andrew, this is not an aquamarine. You were all over the place, weren't you? Let me get my equipment out. And you did well, didn't you? You were sorting them all out.
What we thought were a load of topaz, I don't think they were.
They're not
so
all.
I couldn't tell you what they were, but I could tell you that they weren't topaz. So yeah, a little bit more work is needed there. But yeah, that's what's good, isn't it?
Yes.
About this.
So we got a topaz, and I got a diamond file, and I scratched the table. We have some photographs. Okay, you have to look at these, not with a pinch. What am I trying to say? They're taken with the iPhone, okay, 10 times, so the quality isn't there, but you can see the scratch. You can also see my stinking fingers as well.
I can't rotate this now, but yeah, it's okay.
And Louise is is it on there, Louise?
Yes.
Yes. Let me go on to program and I can see if you've got it on. Yes, you have. So,
yep.
So this is what the stone was like. And you can see on the top of the stone there, a little white scratch, okay? You can just about see it. So that was a scratch that I put on that stone with a diamond file, all right? It's not the best photograph, I'm taken with an iPhone now. Yeah, we could have got the gem, gem-like macro, couldn't we? Take a picture. Yes, we could.
Yes, we could, yes. Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, that would have been...
Would have been
God,
good, wouldn't it?
If you can pop it out the box.
So we had that. Okay, so we scratched it. So I got some diamond paste, and I simply got a Selvet cloth, bit of diamond paste on the Selvet cloth, and I got the stone, and I just wanted to see if it would work. And I got the stone, and I rubbed it up and down the little bit of a cloth, about this much, about 2 inches, 50mm section, with a bit of diamond paste, and I just rubbed the stone up and down. Now, obviously, this wasn't a scientific experiment, was it? This wasn't how stones are polished, because of the stone was indeed rocking, we just took off the sharpness of those facets. I think the mark is still there, but because the diamond paste polished quite a bit of it off, there is still a slight groove, but it's not that matte scratched look. And if you go on to the next picture, there, you should be able to see that the table is nice and shiny. The scratch is still there slightly, but
could you have continued?
Yeah, I think I could have done. Yeah, absolutely.
But then
that was literally about 5 minutes work, but I just had the stone and I was just rubbing it. And of course, by rubbing it up and down, the stone is going back and forth, and I turned the stone around. So it was taking the edges off. But if you'd had perhaps a piece of cloth on a hard surface and you mounted the stone so the stone wouldn't rock, or you held the stone and you had a mop, like a hard felt mop with some diamond paste on it, and passed that over the top. So the stone didn't rock. I think we would have done a better job.
It would have been better, but I still thought they wouldn't have been sharp as they were.
I don't think they would. No, because stones are sharpened upon steel plates with a diamond dust, and you're going to get nice crisp facets. So, in the sense of doing it in a workshop, I think we achieved what we set out to. Yeah. Albeit it was very experimental, and I was just doing that up and down. But pay a bit more attention, I think, with a nice hard felt mop with the diamond paste on it, passing it over the top, keeping the nice and level, and I think you should be able to take out a slight scratch. Absolutely. With that.
That's a good result.
Yeah, so it worked. Where's the stone there?
Couldn't you have put the paste on a piece of glass?
Yeah, I could have done. Yeah, absolutely. But then
directly on a hard surface instead of a cloth.
Yeah, but then again, the stone has to be mounted. So as you push up and down, the stone is still going to rock slightly. So I think the stone has to be that perfect position, level, to get those facets still nice and crisp. But yeah, so it worked nicely.
What was the name of the cloth you used with the paste?
Selvet. It was just a Selvet cloth. Again, not the best thing to use. I just simply grabbed the cloth, grabbed a bit of paste, smeared the paste up and down the cloth, got the stone and just did that, just to see if it would work, and it did. So a little bit more time, a little bit more effort, and I think the scratch would have gone. And it was quite a deep scratch because I used a diamond file on it. So it wasn't like a little scratch, it was a nice deep scratch. You can charge a flat piece of copper with diamond paste and embeds in the copper under pressure. Brilliant, there we go. So there's lots of ways you're going to be able to do it, but we just did it as an experiment. Yeah,
but the other ways would keep those facet edges a little bit sharper, I think.
Yes, absolutely. But that was only a really noticeable under magnification.
But then when we looked at it without the loop, it's all I could see then, because I'd already seen it.
Yeah.
We knew it was there, so yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, so there we go. So that's what we did, and that's what happened. There we go. I've rubbed it off now.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Next question then, please, Louise.
This was the next question, actually. Elizabeth has asked, how does one go about making a hinged ear post that clicks? Oh, no, that's not the same, that's different, because that was a different click, wasn't it?
Yeah. How to make a hinged ear post. So
you can put that on your list. You can make a film about that.
Oh, I could.
You could.
If like Kenny Everett.
All done in the best possible
taste. Also, I've got to be very careful with the whiteboard again, because it's resting on top of it, on top of the television. I didn't want to move too many things around. So we are going to do a film on this on At the Bench. So what you do, you get a strip of metal. Camera number 3 should zoom in on, nope, that's that one. There we go, camera number 3. You get a strip of metal, okay, like that. You divide it into 3. So you put a mark. But the idea is then you fold it. So you have your piece of metal like this. So here's your piece of metal, okay, like that. So you fold it into thirds like that, and then you go, there we go, and you fold it into thirds like that, okay. So you fold the metal into thirds and you squash it. So now when you look down on top, you have got that, okay? You have got 3 lots like that. Does that make sense? I'm making the hinge. Number 2, there we go. Okay, so then when you cut off across here, like that, what have you got? What have you got, eh? You now have got this area here, which is the hinge. So imagine that if I cut this off here, you now have got this bit of metal that is the hinge, and you have this bit of metal here that is going to be the bit that goes in between. I hope all this makes sense. Can you all see on this bit of board? Yeah. So then you've done that. Okay, so we've got this. So now you've got your earring that comes around like this. So,
pardon?
I beg your pardon, Siri.
Siri, nobody asked you for your information. Thank you very much.
So the idea is then you now have your hinge by here. So this is your hinge.
Never done that before.
Where did she come
Mrs.
from?
Lloyd.
Mrs. Lloyd, leave me alone.
Mrs. Lloyd.
Okay, so there's your hinge made out of this bit here. So this here, exhibit A, is this here, exhibit A, and I've drilled a hole. And then the other bit of metal goes in here, yep. And now that now is this bit of metal that comes around, and then you solder on this, don't you? This is your hinge now. Okay, so you've now made a hinge around the bottom of this like that. So that makes your hinge. This is like this, then you get a piece of metal, and then you do that with your round bit of wire. Okay, like that. So that's your horseshoe shape. That gets soldered onto here.
The rain.
That's rain, yeah.
I know, pouring down.
Absolutely awful, isn't it? So then,
Disgusting weather.
disgusting. So there is your hinge here, like that, and then your wire then comes along and clicks into place down there. Does that make sense? So this wire can be slightly rectangular or it can be round. It gets soldered onto this. So you have now made obviously the hinge and the piece, the pivot that goes in the middle. You can drill through around the bottom, and that acts as the hinge. Does that make sense? And that is the best way. And yes, we are going to be doing that for a film on At the Bench very shortly, because I thought some people have been asking about how to make brooch fittings and earring fittings, and that's a nice little one to start off with. So there we go. Hope that helps.
Lovely
But look out
stuff.
on At the Bench for the film over the next couple of weeks.
Cool.
Next question.
Okay. Deputy Dog, how do you think Sonny formed the egg shape on his locket?
What he did, because I was curious on how he was going to do this, but what he did was he literally forced it, quite a thick bit of gold, into his doming punch. So the side view, you've got your doming punches like this, not punches, your doming block, okay? That's a section through the doming block, because really your doming block is like this, isn't it? Yeah. So that's a section going through, and that's what you've got. What he did, he put a bit of metal over the top like that, okay? Round a bit of metal. He then got his doming punch, and he just hammered it in, and by doing that, it sort of did that sort of shape. The metal did that, yeah? Does that make sense? He literally just pushed it in. And there is a close-up on the film, and I thought, oh, that disc is too big. Okay, so check out the film again. When you see it, he's got the doming block. The disc is like that, is too big, and as he's pushing it in, the sides are sticking over the edge of the block. And I thought, it's too big. But as a result of that, it did sort of make a bit of metal that was that sort of shape, because the doming punch was there, and that went into the doming set like that. And that's how we did the egg. Not the right way to do it, because you're going to get marks on the metal where the edge of your doming block hits the metal. But if you use a nice thick bit of metal, you can file that away. So that is how we did it. Nice. Good question, actually. But yeah, if you check out the repeats on BBC iPlayer, you can see when he did it, he pushes it into the doming block. Louise, that is how you made the egg. That was the one half of the egg. Yeah, so that was the one half of the egg, and then he did the other half of the egg, just tapping it round into doming block as it should. Yeah. Next question, please, my darling.
Okay, Victoria is currently working on a cuff bracelet with an amber cabochon, a double cuff. Would you shape the cuff first before soldering the bezel on?
When you say a double cuff, do you mean like a double-stranded cuff? But anything to do with cuffs, yes, I would solder the cups on after you have bent it round, because by bending it round, because it depends when you say a double cuff. Do you mean if you look down on top, you've got sort of like two rails like that, and then you put the cup, for argument's sake, you put the oval cup then on top. If it's like that, in fact, whatever way you do it, yes, you should shape it. You should shape it into that shape first, and then solder your cup on, your bezel on. Then you're not going to get any distortion or bending. And also, if that isn't on and you just make it round, you can hammer this and make it the right shape. And once you've done that, then you solder on the bezel. If you solder on flat and you try and shape it, where you soldered the cup onto the bangle, it's going to be flat because you won't be able to bend it. And if you do try and bend it, you're going to disform, is that a word, disfigure? Yeah, the bezel. So definitely solder it on after you have shaped it. Louise. If the mark is too light, you can't see. Okay, perhaps I will use a different colour. So I put it onto camera number 2, please. There we go. I should do that, shouldn't I? You can just about see that now, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
All right then, let's next, Louise, and maybe have another question.
Okay.
Oh, also, I'm not pushing hard because I'm scared that the board will fall off the television.
Okay. How far did it get? Romy's asking, have you ever used black rhodium?
Yeah, I just answered that.
Oh, sorry.
At the time. No, it's okay.
I'm nodding off, obviously.
No. I said I've used it with the pen plater, but not as a whole solution to rhodium, like a whole ring. I've only done little bits of black rhodium on a pen plater, and it worked very well. Thank you.
Okay. Thomas is asking, before melting silver, do you need to get rid of the human grease, etc.?
No, just let it burn and inhale it.
Oh, so wrong with you. It does, yeah, it's when you get...
It's that nasty,
that
nasty
smell when it
smell.
burns off.
Oh, yeah. So, no, there's not much point. If you want to put it through ultrasonic, you can do. But to be honest, when it's in the melting pot and you put the flame on it, it all burns, you know, the dead skin cells on the backs of rings, the perfume,
it's
the
not
grease.
nice, though, is it? It's not a nice smell.
Oh, I never said it was nice. You just get used to it after a while.
Just like your father, then.
Well, I never said it was nice. So no, it's not nice. You get used to it, but just melt it down, and the heat completely obliterates it. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Next.
Yeah. So yeah, it gets obliterated, but it doesn't smell very nice.
It doesn't know right now. And also, the most expensive, not the most expensive, but the more expensive the perfume, the worse the smell is.
Okay. In one of your films, you constructed a soldering station out of solderite board. Can you use vermiculite instead? It's much less expensive.
Yeah, you could, as long as it holds together. I would have thought so. Yeah, as long as you can cut it, and as long as the boards will hold their shape, and as long as you can perhaps put a little pins through to hold it all together, or some little screws, absolutely. And if it's a lot cheaper, I think the boards, I don't think they're called solderite boards, because I've heard the solderite boards are really expensive. They're just simply soldered boards, and they're about, I don't know, £5-7 each. I think you need 1, 2, you need 3, 4 preferably to make a double base. Yeah, a lot cheaper than buying anything. Thank you. Okay, next question. Yeah, so vermiculite boards, as long as it holds together, as long as you can cut them, yes, I see no problem. But don't forget, make a double layer on the base itself, just so you get that protection from the surface that you're putting it on. Yeah. Next question, then, please, Louise.
Okay, Janice is asking, is it true a crushed boiled egg with shell put into a plastic bag with an item works the same as liver of sulphur?
It sure does.
On silver it does, yeah.
Yes, yeah. But it's not going to be as fast as liver of sulphur. It may take overnight because there's liver of sulphur in the... I don't think you have to put the shell in. You can just put the egg in, and just hard-boiled egg, put it in there, mash it up, put the item in there, and it will colour, yes. But don't eat the egg afterwards. Yeah.
Jimmy, where can we see the interview with Naomi? It's on the YouTube channel.
Yeah. I haven't got the links, but perhaps you can put the links on.
Yes.
Well, Louise is just going to find the link now and put it on. It should be there.
Okay.
Louise is going to find that now.
Ooh.
Ooh. And Barry. There it is. Andrew Berry.
Andrew Berry.
That's the one.
Oh,
That's
there
it.
you are. Okay.
There you go. So it's coming to the television.
Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Okay. Right, I got it.
That was the advert on the YouTube.
Jimmy, I'm just tagging you in it now.
Jimmy, there's the link that's there. You can click on that and you can watch the interview with Naomi. And don't forget...
Somebody's answered. Sorry, okay, great. Somebody beat me to it. Okay.
Yes, so that's what we're going to do. And Kim's going to go live on Wednesday and Nicola's going to go live on most probably Friday or Saturday. And Louise will go live the week after.
Yeah.
Good old Lee, yes. Next question then, please, Louise.
Fab. Faye would love to buy a Durston rolling mill but can't quite afford it yet. I would need something small as I don't have a lot of workspace. Is there anything you can suggest cheaper and smaller?
I'll go and get one for you now.
Baby Durston.
The baby Durston. The baby Durston.
Is that the official Baby Durston song that you've written?
Yeah, that was my official one. The baby Durston. The baby Durston.
Quite easy to learn, isn't it?
It's 3 words. The baby and Durston. There.
Why are you struggling with it? Look at the size of it.
It's actually quite heavy, believe it or not. So, wow, if I got lifted up there. Oh, there.
Come on, muscles.
This way, there we go.
Yeah.
The baby Durston. This is the baby Agile. I think it's C90. C90 because combination. You've got the little squares in there as well. Little chap. There we go. It's back to front on here, isn't it? So there we go. So that's the little Durston. Nice little simple rolling mill. Has all the build quality that Durston have. It's on their website. I think that's the C90. You can also get the flat, is it the flat 90 as well, the F90, and that's just completely flat. There's no V grooves in it, no extension rolls. It's just simple little, how little that is, isn't that?
But it's heavy.
But it is actually quite heavy, yes.
Oh, you're just...
Weak, yes.
You're not, we know you're not.
No, so there we go. So that's the little baby Durston. We call it the baby Durston, but it's not, it's the C90.
Yeah, perhaps we should stop calling it that.
The baby Durston, yeah.
I think you might not like it.
So that's what we got here, and I think we did a bit of an exclusive on that a few months ago, didn't we? On that, but that's on the Durston site. I think you can get 10% off. Just use the coupon code ATB.
Is that still going?
Yeah, of course it is. Put in the coupon code ATB. I think ATB. ATB21. You should be able to get 10% off. But right, Louise, maybe, and obviously, don't buy a cheap economy mill. There's so many problems with cheap economy mills. The rolls aren't necessarily even. They're not quite right. Excuse me. Then you have so many problems with them. I personally think it is cheap economy. It's false economy to buy a cheap rolling mill. A rolling mill needs to be accurate, and a rolling mill you will use every single day of your life when you're in that workshop for flattening stuff, for imprinting texture plates. Oh, by the way, this combination guy won't be able to do your texture plates because it's not wide enough. If you have the flat version, it will be able to do texture plates. So there are some pros and cons when you come to going small on the rolling mills. But save up, get yourself a Durston. It's going to be one of the best purchases you'll ever make. I bought mine 35 years ago and I still use it every single day downstairs. Jason uses it. I look after it, but it still goes and it still works today. So yeah, you need a rolling mill. Come on, Tom, you should be buying one. Come on, get a Durston. Right, Louise, next question, please.
Okay, Romy said, I've seen some amazing scratch removals with a dual tool. A dual tool, sorry, I said that about fast.
Yeah, a dual tool. You can, yeah. It has 3M papers, wheels, and yes, you can get the certain stone polishing, stone cutting adapters, 3M adapters for that you can use, and yes, you certainly can do.
And she's so glamorous, isn't she?
Arnie,
yeah.
yes. Next question.
Okay.
But that's it.
Not relevant to the question, obviously, but
not
yes.
relevant. But what's mad is that I met her when I was in Vegas, and she had this white dress on. She had rhino skin on her fingers, obviously a crocodile skin. And she was there, and she was on the Rio stand, and she had this white dress on. She's there, and she has crowds around her, and there's some guy with a camera there. She polished up my my Amiga class for me when she was there. But yeah, she just stands there, and she's all dolled up, and she's doing this. Her fingers are stinking dirty. That's what she does. Travels the world.
But she's completely immaculate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's completely immaculate. It's just her fingers are completely dirty, just to show. But it is really, really. It's a clever machine.
Yeah.
I had one to play around with, but gave it back. Next question, please, Louise.
Okay.
No, I have no, but I can say I have used them, and they are good. Yes.
Yeah, people say they're fabulous, and when they have them, they love them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul, can you have a nice chat in under 200 characters? Oh, we can't change that's to do with YouTube, the number of characters in a chat.
Yes.
I know it's frustrating. It is annoying, but we can't.
No, we've got
sorry.
no powers over the amount of characters that goes into the chat. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, the bench is in the corner because we've had a little bit of a switcheroo, haven't we, for the interview? So yeah, that's why that's like that. Because
so as you can see, the camera's not square, but there we go. But there, the bench is in that corner over there, out of the way, because there's Louise and there's me. There's my forehead. Yes, you get the idea. We've had to move things around for the interviews. There we go. Sorry. Yes.
Okay. Do you want another question?
Oh, sorry, Louise. Yes, please. May I have another question, please,
Louise? Sorry, this chat is a bit glitchy. Can't have a nice chat. Yep. But where are we? Sorry, chitty chat. Adjustables. I didn't say it out loud. Okay. Scrap over engineering. I sort of finished my first commission piece last weekend.
Well
Fabulous.
done.
How did it go?
Let us know. Let's see some pictures.
Yeah. Nikki, how can you tell us again how and when can the At The Bench members win those fantastic prizes? We need to get a schedule together, and we're going to do that over the next couple of days.
It's starting next month, starting the month of June, £3,500 worth of prizes.
Yeah.
All you got to do is be a paid member of At The Bench. You don't have to do anything. We're not asking you to submit anything, to go sharing or posting or making or nothing like that. It's simply a way of saying thank you for your continued support in At The Bench, and you can win all these fabulous prizes.
Yes, I'm going to make that my priority over the next day or two then, to get the schedule.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely, yes.
Paul is saying for the At The Bench forum, I didn't know there was a 200 character limit on the At The Bench.
Oh, is there?
Is there? I'm sure I
think so. No, people have put in large amounts of.
I know I've
large
had
amount of text
rambling.
in that, so I don't think there's more than 200
I'll double check
characters.
on that, Paul. I don't think there's a 200 character limit. I don't think there's any limit that I'm aware of, but I'll double check. I'll definitely check on that.
Yeah. Absolutely. The access, as long as you're a paid member of At The Bench, you can win. I think someone just asked, is that for a monthly or is it yearly? It's just if you're a paid member.
Yeah, there's a 200 character limit here.
Yes.
Yeah, we
got no say in that.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah. Perhaps we're getting a bit confused here. Sorry if. Yeah, but there's no limit on the
forum, as far as I'm aware of.
Okay. Okay, how far did we get? We can see that you did that. Sort of finished it because it says scrap over engineering with his first commission, and made 2 mirrored templates for a ring so my friend could check how the ring would fit, but she instantly liked wearing both templates, so now I have to make another. Yeah, that's the difficulty with giving too many options, isn't it?
Far too many, absolutely. Yeah. Well done, though. Well done.
But yeah, how amazing, fabulous. Please put a picture on. I'd love to see. Penny is asking, if you've shaped a cuff or locket, etc., and you then solder on a cabochon setting, how do you set the stone without misshaping the metal?
You'd use something like a thermolock or jet set to pack the piece that you soldered onto. So that would then not... And also, if you put a little cab you just got to take care. If you've got a locket, you would get something to pack out the inside of the locket with something like jet set or thermo lock, heat it up, squidge it, put it inside the locket, close the locket, so then when you push down on the cab and on the bezel, it doesn't bend the locket. I'd also put that then within some jet set upon a something like this here, like this, which is camera number 2, please. This is goes into the Benchmade system, bit of wood on the end of a little dooford like that, and you can hold things on the top. You can put some nails in it to put like a cuff or a brooch or whatever you want in there, or you could also, I like it being by here, you've got these there, so then you can also perhaps use your little your micro block as well to hold things, and a bit of jet set always works wonders. And that's the best way. I think that's what you mean. Yes. May I have another question, please, Louise?
Yeah, Elizabeth is asking, what causes a bezel to get bumpy while burnishing?
It's because you stretch the metal. If you have, say, an oval bezel, can you all see that a little bit easier this time? Yeah. If you have an oval bezel like this, and your cab is in it, okay, that's the reflection of the window that we got streaming through here. So that is the bezel, okay. So if you start to get your burnisher here and you burnish in this direction, you keep burnishing, burnish, you're effectively stretching the metal. You're pushing the metal and you're stretching. And by the time you come all the way back round to here, you're going to have a bit of an excess bit of metal that does that, okay? Sticking down like that. So the idea is that you always burnish a little bit over here first. Then you come over here and you burnish a little bit by here. And then you come on this side and you burnish a little bit by there. And you burnish a little bit by there. So you haven't stretched the metal, you just pushed it over little bit. Yeah, hope that makes sense. Then you'll then come across by here and you burnish a bit by there, and you burnish a bit by there, and all you're doing is just going like that and just rubbing the metal, burnish by there, okay? Get the general gist of the idea. Then you can then fill in the gaps and burnish there, and always do opposites like that. Yeah, you always do opposites, and once you do that, you're not pushing the metal all the way around, you're just going yeah, get it? And you just burnish the little bits so it's not being pushed all the way around. You're just pushing this bit, obviously opposites, a little bit at a time, and the metal then will not stretch and it won't get bumpy, but do it gently in little places. You can use something like a bezel rocker to burnish it, or just simply a nice sort of like simple burnisher to burnish it over. If you've got a hammer action handpiece, you can use the little tips on that, but again, you would burnish here, burnish here. You still do the opposite in all the cases, and your metal shouldn't wrinkle, your metal shouldn't bulge, your metal should be just about right. I think that's what you mean. Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely, definitely. Then again, Louise, may we have another question, please?
Yes, Dana is asking, going back to the earring hinge you described.
Yes.
Would you use a tiny tube to connect, or just a tiny piece of wire?
Just a bit of wire. Just drill a 1mm hole. Just drill a 1mm hole through it all, and then just put a 1mm wire through. You can just gently rivet it over either side, or if you've got like a laser or a puck, you can just blast it just to make a little ball on the end. I wouldn't necessarily try and solder it or try and melt the metal on the end, the pins. All you got to do is just gently put it onto a flat surface, get a cross pane hammer and just go over the top, 90 degrees, go over the top, just to make it slightly flared. If you want to make a little bit of a countersink on the outside of the hinge, you can do. There isn't usually much point like that. Or if you lay the hinge down, okay, so the hinge is like that, and there's your other bit of metal here, and that's the wire coming off, okay? Then here's your pin going through, yeah, does that make sense? like that. Why not get yourself a little beading tool? Okay, so it comes down, the beading tool does that, and hammer that down. And by doing that, you're going to just round off that end and push that down a little bit, and also flare it out slightly. So that's a good little tip as well, to make the ends of these pins slightly rounded. Well, I'm doing well today.
Okay.
You may have another question, please, Louise.
A couple of questions about the baby Durston.
Yes.
I mean the, what is it, F80?
The C is a C90. I'm not quite sure. You're going to have to double check.
Yeah, sorry, the baby Durston.
Yeah, the baby Durston. The baby Durston.
B Demon is saying the Durston Mini F80 is 25% off right now.
Wow. Awesome. So the F means it's flat, it means the rolls are completely flat. There's no little V grooves in it at all, so you won't be able to do your square wire. Just want to put that out there.
Romy's asking, can it take an Oregon silver texture plate?
No, it cannot. Not the flat one can, but the combination one can't, because it's only half the width of the rolls is flat. But it's a direct drive, so you're going to need to have a bit of power to be able to get your texture plate and the metal through the mill. It's so much easier to use one with a gearbox, make life so much easier. It's going to be hard work with a direct drive. It is possible if your name is Arnold Schwarzenegger, because he's big and muscly, yeah. Yeah, but a flat one you could just... I've never tried a direct drive, to be honest, with an Oregon Trail texture plate, but I'm sure it would be possible. But you're going to have to make sure, perhaps do a practice run beforehand before you put your final piece through it. Next question.
Mary, where'd you get the baby Durston? Durston.com?
Yeah,
Durston.com. Yeah, Durston.com.
Absolutely. Give us a link to that as well in a minute if you want, Louise. You want to ask me a question and go and find a link?
Okay.
Yep.
We've got some very scientific conversations going on between Kate and yeah.
That's
it's all
fine.
gone completely above my head, clearly. So yeah, they're
carry on.
Yeah, doing ionic equations and I don't know, but yeah. Oh, how well your shirt is ironed, Andrew. Does it go through the rolling mill too?
No, I have a lady who does.
It's not me.
It is actually quite nice. It's actually quite good condition, isn't it? As in, I've worn it all day. Actually, I did no work, I expect. But I have done work, I'm very lying.
Okay. Sherlock is new to casting silver. I've done a few projects with scrap sterling silver. If I buy silver grain, do I need to add anything to it?
No, because usually silver grain is already pre-formulated for casting. So if you get some sterling casting grain, it's already got the right alloys in it that enable it to be cast, if that makes sense. Because sometimes your scrap silver is not necessarily made for casting. It can be cast, but not necessarily have the nice flowing properties. Perhaps if you've got a piece of sheet, the alloy of that may not be the same as casting grain. Even though it may be 925 sterling silver, it's the other alloys that have that effect, the extra properties. And perhaps the alloys are different from sheet and wire than it would be for casting, because obviously casting, you cast it in place, that is the shape. With sheet, wire and so forth, you actually have to roll it out. So perhaps the alloy properties are going to be different, but buying casting grain is the right way to go and use silver to cast, yes. And just listen to the rain out there. Actually atrocious weather,
Pouring
isn't
down,
it?
isn't it?
Maybe I have a question, please, Louise.
Okay, Marianne is asking, what is the recipe to mix denatured alcohol and boric acid to prevent fire scale? I think I have too much boric acid. I'm getting a sandy texture and pitting when I put the flame on.
There is no real formula for this. I used denatured alcohol, I use boracic acid, and then also borax powder as well, and mix it. And I had it in a little jar, and what happens is, because the borax and the boracic acid does not necessarily dissolve into the denatured alcohol, it is it precipitation? It settles down to the bottom, so you have the nature alcohol above, but when you come to use it, you shake it or you stir it, it all mixes up, then you can put your piece in. As it comes out, you burn off the alcohol, and then you're left with the little crystals and so forth that come from the boric acid and the borax. And then when you heat that up, all that then will melt down. Oh, John, I'm very windy today.
Thanks for sharing.
And should then just cover the surface, absolutely. Baby Durston is a C70 roller mill. So yes, so 70 millimeters, roughly about 35 millimeters or 40 millimeters taken up with the V grooves, and then you have the 30 to 35 millimeters as the flat. But yeah, thank you for that. Next question, please, Louise.
Okay, Vicky would like to learn about the sandblast finish, please.
The sandblast finish. You can buy a sandblasting machine for that, using a compressor, but a lot of people have had good success with literally dropping by literally dropping the sandblasting material onto the surface. So if you have like a bucket or a bowl, and then you get a little cup, you take up the shot material, okay, then you have your piece of metal, put it in the bowl, pour the sand down on top, and purely the gravity will actually texture the piece. A lot of people have had success with that. That is going to be really, really cheap for you to do. A compressor and the compressor and the sandblasting unit does end up to be quite expensive, so you really have to be sure that that's going to be a finish and a pattern that you're going to be using repeatedly, otherwise it's very expensive. Don't forget, you can also use your wheels on your flex shaft as well to impart the texture, but some people had just pour the mixture, pour sand even. You can get some nice coarse sand or some very fine gravel, and you can literally drop that onto perhaps a ring or a sheet underneath, and that will actually texture it. You may need to do it a few times, begin and get a nice random pattern. That's the best thing I can really suggest, to be honest, with that.
Okay.
Yes. Next question, please, my darling.
Okay, Carolina is asking, how do I clean a wire wrap necklace with pearls? The silver has tarnished badly.
So the best thing to do, I think, would be to get some silver cleaner, like a solution, put it onto a cotton bud. We call them here in the UK. What do they call them in America, Louise?
Q-tip?
Q-tip. Well done. Thank you. Very good. Use a Q-tip in the solution and then just wipe it over the silver. You can wash it off, make sure it doesn't go on the pearls, or you can just put a little bit of paper. So here's the side view, and there's your wires. Perhaps there's your pearl on top like that. You just get a bit of paper just to put between it, and then you can get your little Q-tip like that with a solution on, just to go over all these areas, and the paper then will protect the pearl. You can wash it then very quickly if you happen to get it on the pearl, and it shouldn't affect it. But something like that would be nice and easy to do. Yeah. But you don't want to go dipping the whole thing in a solution, because it's going to affect the pearls, isn't it? And that'll be no good at all. But a Q-tip is absolutely brilliant for that, yes. Or a cocktail stick with a little bit of cotton wool wrapped upon the end. Absolutely. Maybe have another question, please.
Yeah. Janet is saying, another inheritance, a 100-year-old silver intricate design compact.
Oh, nice.
Compact and small or small compact? Compact small would make great compact.
Don't know.
It's more.
Oh, it's more. Sorry.
It's got a big dent in the surface. Would I dap out?
Yeah, I would perhaps get a piece of wood and perhaps just carve. If the compact has that slight curve, try and replicate that slight curve in a piece of wood, and then get a nice large, perhaps a wooden punch, or a nice large, what's over there? A nice large dapping punch. I wouldn't necessarily hammer it. I would just gently put it in and just rock it, or just gently tap it down. And that should push out the dent quite easily upon that. Wouldn't put it on anything solid, but a piece of wood that you've just got a slight shallow to match the pattern of the compact should be just right to get that out. Yeah, absolutely. And just use your judgment, isn't it? Just use that. Just tap it down a little bit. Don't use a dapping punch that's going to be too small, because that's going to start putting dents. But the biggest you can put in there, the better. Yes.
We'll make a nice pendant. It was a compact.
Okay.
I can still smell the powder. It was my granny's.
Oh,
I
nice.
remember them. I can remember my grandmother having, and they're gorgeous things, aren't they? Do you know what we're talking about? And you'd get the little.
You could buy the refills.
The refills, yeah, that's it.
You used to buy the bezel comes out of it. Bezel comes out. The refill goes in. You put that back on, and it has the little, like a little round, like a
be like
pad that goes on the top.
or something on the top.
Yeah,
or,
with a little mirror.
Yeah.
And that, yeah.
I don't see them so much anymore. I'd love one of them. We'll have to have a look in the charity shops, won't we? Or the
Stratton used to make them in this country.
Did they? What an old one though.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
You got me.
Yeah, I've forgotten all about them. Which rolling mill is most versatile? I think somebody else put down here on a budget. Yeah, for the budget price. Which Durston rolling mill is most versatile for a budget price?
If you can get enough money to buy a geared rolling mill, do it. Even if it means you saving up for another few months to get a geared rolling mill. And what do I mean by a geared rolling mill? Let me take Louise's camera and spin this around me to see if I can do this here. So this is a Durston Agile. It is a DRM C130. This is really good. You can see the gearbox there. There's the gearbox. That is a brilliant, brilliant mill. Let me just come out. There we go. So that is going to be a brilliant mill that I would definitely recommend. It's a Durston Agile C130. It's not cheap, it's not expensive, it's mid-range. There we go. It's mid-range, and I would definitely recommend. Oh dear me, Andrew, what are you doing, Sonny Jim? I would definitely recommend. Let's zoom in on Louise again. There we go. I would definitely recommend one of those because they are brilliant. If you can afford another few £100, don't get an Agile, get a normal rolling mill, normal Durston with the round handle with the separate extension rollers on the outside, but then you're going up onto megabucks then. But something like that, an Agile C130, brilliant. Again, the thing is, a budget mill is like this little guy, isn't it? This is you're going to be your little budget mill. Just got an announcement coming out now in a few months of another mill very soon. But this is a budget mill. It's very good, direct drive. Try and save, £200-300 more, and you're going to be able to have yourself an even better mill. If you can't afford that, or you don't want to afford that,
or indeed you're limited on space.
Yeah, if you're limited on space, but absolutely anything like a Durston is going to be awesome no matter what you get. This is coming on you a bit more, Louise. There we go. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Maybe have another question, please.
Okay. Debbie, I am making a ring, added beaded wire around the bezel, but the base plate slightly sticks under the beaded wire. What tool can I use to remove the excess base plate by the beaded wire?
I think you'd be better off. Say that again. So the base plate.
I'm making a ring, added beaded wire around the bezel, but the base plate slightly sticks under the beaded wire. What tool can I use to remove the excess base plate by the beaded wire?
So is the beaded wire. So here's the side of the bezel. Okay, and your beaded wire goes on the side, yeah? So there's your bezel, like this, and then your beaded wire goes around the outside, yeah? And there's a base plate. So is your base plate extending further than the balls, than your beaded wire, like that? Is that what you mean? Because if so, you can just simply file away underneath, and then unfortunately then you're going to have to file every single one that does that, aren't you? That's your underneath view, if that makes sense. But you're going to have to just file it away. There's no real way of doing it. I think it's hard for you to understand exactly what you mean for this. Because in theory, the base, you shouldn't have a base plate. If you were doing it in there are several ways to do this. You could make up the bezel so the base plate is exactly the same size as the bezel, and then you solder on the beaded wire on the outside, and you solder the balls, the beaded wire, to the edge of the bezel here. That would be one way of doing it. Or you extend the base plate and you solder the balls, the beaded wire, onto the base plate. If you do that, your best bet is just to file it away from underneath.
Debbie's asking, is there a flex shaft tool I can use?
Yeah, with a sanding drum. That's all I'd say would be a sanding drum. It'd be a lot easier, a lot quicker. Sanding drum, you can sometimes get the little Gary Flex wheels that you can get, and they're slightly rubberized wheels, and you can use those as well to get around that. Yes, and if you use a knife-edged Gary Flex wheel, which are obviously knife edge, here's the shaft, and they're sort of that shape, this little profile here will be able to get in between the balls nice and easily. Absolutely. Next question, my dear.
Okay, Christian is saying, my silver always gets red and crusty looking after I solder, even after I pickle. How do I change that? Also, love your vids. Thank you.
Thank you. Crusty. Do you mean it melts, or is that the crustiness is the flux that's on it? Let me know. I don't really understand why your silver would be crusty. Thank you. Does that make sense? Yeah. Why is it crusty? Perhaps have you quench it in the acid when it's warm? Quench it in the acid to get rid of all the flux. Is it the flux that's crusty, or has the silver slightly melted and you've got a bit of a reticulated finish? Just let me know in the chat, and I'll be able to help you. Not the flux. Theo Cohen, yeah, I've made one. I've made one of the motion rings. I've made one of them, but I cheated. It's not the flux, so I'm clicking back on cameras here. It must be the silver. I think if your silver has got red hot, your silver has slightly melted. I think the surface then has slightly melted. You've overheated the surface. Not much you can do with the silver if it's become slightly crinkly and slightly reticulated. Just make sure that you don't overheat the silver next time. Definitely, yeah. Does that make sense? So I'm just looking down at the chat right here.
Sorry, I'm not sure how far we've got now.
That's okay. The compacts are ancient.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit like me.
No.
Yes. Depleted pickle.
I don't know.
It almost seems rusty. More burnt. I'd say it sounds like. It seems rusty. Sounds like reticulated silver, so you've melted the silver.
More burnt than crusty, my fault.
More burnt.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've overheated the silver, absolutely. And perhaps it hasn't come out of the pickle. Make sure your pickle's warm. Sometimes I would actually heat up the silver and quench it in the pickle a few times just to get rid of any oxides off the surface, absolutely. And that also helps get rid of the flux off the surface as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Theo, I'm not sure what Theo's question was now. Bobby White's motion ring.
Yes.
It would be cool to see a version of how to make a similar hinged ring.
Yes. I've made one a few years ago. Talk about setting stones with the beading tool on the prongs and what types or sizes of stones are applicable. Sorry, I'll let you carry on.
That's okay. No, do you want another question?
Yes, please,
I think
Louise.
we've pretty much caught up. I'm not sure how far we got with this, but yeah, we did Debbie's question, didn't we? Did that one. Christian, we've done.
But if you're looking at a beading tool on claws, I wouldn't use a beading tool initially. I would use a cup burr. If you have a cup burr, that will round off the tops of the claws, and that is going to be your best bet. I have to be careful on this chair because
The chair
sounds really good. You've got to be careful when doing interviews when you move. Ooh. Okay, so definitely you'd use a cup burr, okay? So you've got your, for argument's sake, there's your stone, is in there. You use a cut burr to come on top. There's your cut burr. It's got the teeth in it. It just rounds the top off. So definitely use a cup burr to round the tops. And then if you want to add a bit more pressure, then you can use a beading tool just to push the close that little bit tighter onto the stone. Cup burr, if you're using, and it's got 1.2 millimeter size wire, use perhaps a 1.5 millimeter or 1.8 millimeter cup burr in your flex shaft to round the tips of the claws. Much better. You won't get a decent rounded tip purely by using a beading tool. It's time, Louise. It's 5:05 already.
It is.
What size cut burr do you use? The same as the wire, slightly larger. Definitely use one that is slightly larger than the wire. It's going to be much better. Say 1.2 wire, use something like a 1.5, 1.8, and so forth. So use one the next 1 or 2 sizes bigger. Should we have one more question, please, Louise, and then we shall call it a night.
Okay, I think Elizabeth asked, how do you make a cuff necklace?
A cuff necklace? Don't know.
Is that like a...
Like a torque? Is that what you mean, like a torque?
Do you mean like a rigid... That's what I'm imagining in my mind's eye.
Like a torque. Is it a torque necklace? Because then you can use the little busts to hammer it on, can't you? A cuff necklace.
We sold one. I sold one. Remember the one
last
we
week
had and couldn't fit it in the box. I mean, go to a laughing because they didn't want it. Kept jumping out the box, and it was similar to that, but it had a little bit of rose gold in the front, didn't it? Do you remember it?
Yes. So definitely get yourself a bust. It's one of these steel. Bust is part of the neck, shoulders, and a bit of the bust down here. You can use that then to form your piece of wire or your piece of sheet onto it. Yeah, that's how I would use that picture. There is it's like it's been forged, isn't it?
I'll just pop the link in here. Shall I?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah.
That's what I think. Oh,
it's too many.
It's too many characters. That damn 200 characters again, Paul. I can't post the link, can I? 'Cause it's too
How many
big.
characters is that? Oh my
It's
god!
silly, isn't it?
That's a silly amount.
It's it's like a rigid circle, isn't it?
Torque, isn't it? Like a torque.
Yeah.
Like a torque. Is it torque they call it? Like a torque necklace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go.
You're doubting yourself.
Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah. So this, it's like if you have something like a really big D sections piece of silver wire, those are just simply easy, aren't they? That's just a simple loop with a clasp on one end and a little loop on the other for it to go through. Absolutely. Really simple. Collar necklace.
Collar necklace. Now, is that rigid though? I don't think that's necessarily rigid, is it?
No.
No.
But I know what you mean. But you can buy the busts. They are, from the side view, it looks a bit like that. And there's almost like a bust that you use to put jewellery on. And it's stainless steel. So you have the neck here. It comes down and it does that. Like that. And then you can hammer your torque necklace, a torque bangle, not torque bangle, torque necklace, you get the general gist of the idea. I'm starving, Louise.
What's for tea?
I have no idea. What is for tea? Have you thought about tea? I know what tea's. We're having madras for tomorrow. We're making that tonight.
Are we?
Here we are. Well, you are, because you make the best madras.
I do. I can't deny it.
You can't deny it and make the best. Right then, everybody. So that will be the end of our question and answer for tonight. It's gone on for an hour, as usual. Itchy. That's the question and answer. So we're going to be coming on. Don't forget, tomorrow, 8 p.m, BBC Two's All That Glitters. It is the semi-finals. There's 2 episodes to go. Semi-finals tomorrow. We've got Tamara, Sunny, Hugo and Dan in the final. Wonder who's going to go out tomorrow. We don't know. So don't forget, keep a lookout on that. BBC Two's All That Glitters airs at 8 p.m. on BBC Two, 8 p.m. Tuesdays, and you can also catch up on iPlayer. Don't forget...
BBC Two's All That Glitters is on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. and is available to watch on iPlayer. can say it now.
We're not being recorded. And then we'll be doing our day after party on the Wednesday, and we'll be talking about reviewing what the items, the construction and how the contestant did within the time limits. That's going to be 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Also, don't forget, look out on Wednesday for Kim Stiles' interview for the contestant from All That Glitters. It's going to be a busy week, isn't it? We should be having another interview tomorrow if Sunny has come back to us. We'll have to see.
Okay.
So we may have another interview tomorrow. He hasn't come back to me up to now. Yes, she's got that down. Absolutely. I don't know how many times we've actually gone through it. So many times before. Dana, thank you very much indeed for that. Janet, thank you so much. We may take you up on your barbecue when we can travel.
When we can get over to
Forteventura. Absolutely. What time is the interview? Thomas, we haven't decided yet, but just look out for the links on socials. It's going to be on YouTube on Wednesday. I expect it'll be Wednesday evening. Perhaps we'll do it perhaps an hour, perhaps at 5 o'clock on Wednesday, so we can talk about it at 6 o'clock when we come on Wednesday.
I was reading the chat then, sorry, I wasn't...
Yeah, the interview with Kim. Perhaps we'll release it at 5 o'clock on Wednesday and get them all done in one go then, can't we?
Okay. Okay,
that's about it. Louise, do you need to say anything?
Can you change the interview camera to landscape?
Okay, so we can't. The interviewers have it sometimes portrait, sometimes have it landscape. Lee we did personally because he's a local lad. Who's done it? I think Nicola's was portrait. But yeah, we'll do our best, but we are governed by what the interviewer has. There we go. That's it. Louise, let's say anything.
BBC Two's All That Glitters is on Tuesday at 8 p.m. and is available to watch on BBC iPlayer.
That isn't what I expected, but there we go. That's it. We will see you all Wednesday. Keep a lookout for the interview for Kim Stiles. We'll try and perhaps do it on 5 o'clock or even perhaps 5:30 Wednesday. Keep a lookout. We'll have to do that tonight. Don't forget, click the like button if you like this. Don't forget, we do like your comments in the chat. Thank you very much for coming on this afternoon and for and all the lovely, I'll leave that there, and all the lovely questions.
I didn't realise that Susan, I knew that Kate was a research chemist and a really clever lady, but we've got another chemist. Susan's a chemist as well.
Oh, nice, cool.
Yeah, so we've had a real meeting of minds today. Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been really good.
That's really good. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Have a lovely evening, and we will see you all Wednesday at 8 p.m. No, 8 p.m. No, sorry.
Don't make me say it again.
Come on. No. We will see you. Oh, what are we doing, Louise? We will see you. I don't know where I am. We will see you.
You need a script, do you?
I do, don't I, really? To be honest, Louise, that doesn't help either. We will see you Wednesday, 6 p.m. for the day after party from All That Glitters, and keep a lookout for Kim Stiles' interview.
I think that's all we need to say.
I think.
Okay.
Say goodbye, Louise.
Goodbye, Louise.
Bye, Louise. What's your fade to black? You don't have to worry about a slide or anything like that. Unless you want to put a slide. Do you want to put a slide?
I haven't got one.
I haven't got a slide.
I've got one that says just setting up.
No, we won't have that. We'll fade to black, shall we?
Okay.
All right then, everyone. Take care, everyone. We'll see you all Wednesday, 6 p.m. for the day after party. Keep a lookout. Kim Stiles' interview a little bit before on Wednesday. Take care. Fade to black. Here we go. Say bye, Louise.
Bye-bye.
Say that again. I've just got the camera on you.
Goodbye.
Everyone, take care. See you soon. Bye.